Hey, welcome to the halftime analysis. Definitely, it's a match day center where we're talking about today's match and just join us for this halftime analysis. How did you find the match? We want to get your feedback. So far, how has been your first half? It's interactive as you've known. Halftime is a very interactive show for us. We get your views, we get your opinions on match day center. Feel free, drop us a comment. We at the start of the on the pre-match analysis, we were on on YouTube exclusively, but at halftime we've brought this to our fans on Facebook who are joining us. Welcome to the Facebook family. At the end of it, the full time, we'll again go back to YouTube, and this is how we intend to be doing our match day center. So, how did you find the match? It's another KG affair for us today. First half, so many opportunities, so many last chances. It's it's been a tight one. Maybe you can drop in your comments for those who are following the match. The match is on Star Times BTV. Unfortunately, we cannot stream it. We don't have the rights, but we building it together with you here, and we sharing. So give us your comments. First half has been quite quite interesting. We've had chances from Rupia joining in. He's had a few chances. We've come close. Shaka has been active. Thiongo has been active, and I believe the team hasn't been that badly off. And as once again, I'll be joined by our analysis team. Gladys Midecha will be joining me shortly as we break down this first half for the match. So I bring in Gladys who joins me. Gladys, how did you find the first half?
A very exciting first half, I have to say. It has been, Victor. This is the kind of matches that we look forward to as fans and as analysts. A lot to say about it. However, not the result I had predicted, but good first half. And I am very disappointed that both teams were not using their final thirds very well. At the end of the day, it is what you do with the space you get that counts. And as we get further into this analysis, that is exactly what we'll be seeing.
We've come close. Quite some chances, which maybe we can say half chances. Shaka has been active. Rupi has had some headers on target. What is it that we can do to just change? Maybe at the in the last third, especially
I
in
think
the second half.
I think in the final third, what we need to look out for, especially, is Rupia's positioning. I feel Rupia is playing way too much on the wings. I think if he puts himself in between the two Sofapaka defenders, that will be a very good position for him to be able to get goals in, because the two defenders are not exactly the most solid people as we have seen, and that means that he can actually find a way around them, because if you put yourself in between two defenders, it is very easy for them to get confused, because who will mark the other? That who will mark him? That will be the question that they'll be asking themselves. So I think Elvis Rupia needs to place himself in between the two defenders, be more in the box. I like the way he's tried to figure out himself in the final third in this first half. However, it's not working very well. So I think if he places himself in between the two defenders, he'll be in a better position to score the goals.
There's this moment when we've got a lot of opportunity to do fast breaks. But then it seems our transition on the final man is a major undoing for us, especially when we are at the half.
Yes, the
There was
breaks.
an yes.
The breaks have been excellent. However, my biggest concern is that we are not releasing the ball again too early. And even when a player has the ball, I've seen instances where Suma had the ball and he was not releasing it early enough, or other players were not coming in to assist him. So the final third needs to keep in mind that they need to come and assist the midfielders in order to move the ball forward. At the end of the day, it is all about teamwork. So we need to understand that Suma needs a lot of help from the likes of Thiongo. I like what Thiongo has been doing in the midfield. One thing I have to give credit for is how we've been handling the 50-50 ball situation. If you look at the first half, we've gotten very many of the 50-50 balls. That is a good sign. However, what are we doing with the ball after we get it?
Stranger found himself committing a foul that somehow that has now put him on a card, putting our defense under a lot of pressure. We had the same thing with Suma in the last match where he considered a yellow card in the first half and he was walking a tightrope before somehow the formation was changed. How do you protect such a scenario now from happening and ensuring that you're able to keep the defenders on the match?
Well, again, it's up to the defenders to take pressure off themselves. You know, I think FC Leopards has attacked so many times that every time Sofapaka is attacking, they're kept on the flat. They're almost found like almost sleeping. But the good thing is the reaction that the defenders are getting. That was a very silly yellow card for Shichenje to get. At the end of the day, now he just has to compose himself and ensure that he doesn't put himself under a lot of pressure in a situation where he will need to get another yellow card. At the end of it all, we see a situation where it will now be up to the other defenders to see how best they can protect him from getting another yellow card. Again, the bigger baggage will fall onto the midfielders because now the likes of Thiongo will have to come back to help out in defense.
So first half goes well. You
Mhm,
have more depth on the bench. We have Mwendwa, we have
mhm.
Austin, we have Marvin. What do you do with the kind of bench we have? Do you ensure that we keep our striking because we have a 4-4-2? We've started with all our strikers.
Mhm,
We don't have any other striker currently on the bench,
mhm.
out and out, because Hansel is not on the bench. How do you
Yes.
handle the second half, and what kind of changes do you bring in? Who do you pull out, and who do you retain in the team?
Well, first and foremost, we have to give credit. Both teams are playing the 4-4-2 formation. It seems to be working for them. However, it is also taking away something from both teams. I like the 4-4-2 situation. However, I don't think it's working currently for us right now. So what I would do, I would revert to a 3-5-2. I would deploy the wing backs to put in more of a midfield role so that we pack the midfield and ensure that we have more balls going forward. I think one of our midfielders is on a yellow, if I'm not wrong. I am not exactly sure who it is because I think we have two yellow cards, right, Victor?
Yeah, we have two yellow cards. So we
Uh,
3-5-2. We don't
I
have
would
that
revert to a
defensive
three.
depth. We don't have the defensive depth to do a 3-5-2, because if we had another central defender on the bench, perhaps we could sacrifice one of the midfielders, drop him in. But now, who do we have on the bench? The only defender we have on the bench is Munene.
Mhm.
Munene is the only out and out, and maybe Muhehe, who is also who works on the wings at the same time, can work as a defensive player in a normal match. So we don't have, who do we pull back from the midfield into the defense? Senaj is out. If Senaji was there, we could pull such a stunt. But now we only have Marvin on the bench. We only have Mwendwa. We have Austin, and we have Muhehe.
The other
Tough
formation, if
call
we
for
three
the coach.
it's a very tough call for the coach. The other formation that will work if the 3-5-2 does not work for FC Leopards would be a 4-5-1. That means that Owiti has to drop back and play in midfield. That means now we'll have Thiongo playing 8, then Owiti can revert back to a 10, and then we have Rupia as the only number 9 that will work for us. So we can easily revert from the 4-4-2 to a 4-5-1. Now, every time FC Leopards lose the ball, the ball, they can convert back to a 4-5-1, and it'll be easier for us to attack. Then revert back to the 4-4-2 when we have the ball. It's going to be a very interesting match to see what Modo does with the kind of players that he has on the bench. We have the likes of Harrison Mwenda, who can bring in the experience. I think he's always been he made an impact when he came in against Bidco. So this is going to hopefully be one of those matches that we actually win. We are really sweating out for it. But Victor, my biggest concern has been with our set pieces and the way we are taking them. I think we need to be more clinical when it comes to how we take our corners. Look at the way our players are standing when we are taking the corners. We need to figure out the weak places when we're taking corners, because we are doing well to try and get the ball into the opponent's half. However, what are we doing with the corners? How are we converting them? Thiongo is giving beautiful corners from his side. Kamura is giving beautiful free kicks. However, we are not converting much to them. We've seen Otieno doing a wonderful job in between the posts for Sofapaka. But now the only thing that can work for us, as we've seen with the Thiongo shot, is that we have to now take it um, further outside, because it seems like every time we're getting into the D, we're not doing enough to get the goal.
Olilo on the bench and Austin. Do we now do we withdraw Owiti for let's say Olilo, or Owiti for Austin, and maybe play some sort of 4-3-3 in attack, such that you have Shaka, you have Shaka, you have Rupia, and then you have maybe Austin in the attack formation where you do 4-3-3, because maybe we're not having that final strong punch in the final ball into the box that can trouble the opposition.
Well, a 4-3-3 is another formation that can work, because if you look at the defense of FC Leopards, they've tried to do a very good job cleaning up. My biggest concern and your biggest concern is that our final third is not doing enough. However, when we look at the Sofapaka defense, the question is, are they shaky? Can they concede a goal? The answer is yes. That would be another option. That would be another good option to give Anthony Kimani. He can revert to a 4-4-3. That means he will have to sacrifice one of the midfielders. But who is the question? Because Suma is doing a good job. We have Thiongo, who is doing a good job at the midfield. The question will be, who can he substitute off? Now, I know a lot of people are going to be in the question of what is Ochan doing in goal now. One thing I like about Ochan is his goal distribution. If you look at his goal kicks, he's trying to put them out into the wings. That means that we have to pull. We really have to pull and try and play with the ball on the line. That way we will be more of a threat to the Sofapaka defense. So if we can convert to a 4-3-3 and pull out these defenders, it'll be very easy. But again, we have to make sure that when we are crossing the ball in, it is going to our player. So it is up to the likes of Thiongo, the likes of Suma, to ensure that every time the ball is coming in on the cross, they make it their business to make sure that it is going to the net.
So a lot of attacking options, meaning that the coach has purpose to really take this match head on. And so far the defense seems okay. We just now need to have that final. Will you withdraw Mugeni from the match, or he's had such an excellent match, you keep him on the second half? Do you bring in
Well,
Marvin? Does Marvin bring any option, any change?
well, you have to give Mugeni credit. I think he's the one who's on a yellow, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm.
Yes. Now, the fact that he has a yellow card and we already have another defender that is on a yellow card, it'll be very easy for us to withdraw him, because he is in a place where he's being put under a lot of pressure. As you said, our defense has done a good job, probably at bringing the likes of Harrison Mwendwa, because now we need another leader in the defense. I think he did well in the game against Bidco. At the end of the day, you always want your best foot forward. What will Austin bring into this match? Probably he's sat down, he's read the game well. He can be another good option when it comes to creativity at the front line. We have seen situations where we are not crossing the ball too well, we're not releasing the ball too fast, and Shaka has been a victim of not releasing the ball too fast. So he's holding on to the ball too much in instances where he should be releasing the ball. So probably I would withdraw Shaka, bring in Austin. I would. As the game goes again, I would probably withdraw Mugeni and bring in Harrison Mwendwa just to, to bring in a little bit of creativity into the match.
How about Thiongo? Maybe because of match fitness, you sort of withdraw him, bring in Austin, who maybe that was his initial position. As you watch how the match unfolds, then withdraw, say, Owiti and bring in Harrison, probably.
Mhm.
And then let on move on to the match as it goes towards the end. You can now bring in Olilo to add a bit more pace and see if you can move them a bit central. Perhaps also
Well,
defensive change can be needed.
a defensive change might be needed. It'll depend again on how we see Shichenje behaving. And he's an excellent defender. We have to give him that. He's done a good job. The tackle was a little bit. It was a schoolboy error, but again, sometimes with when you have so much to give as a defender, you want to try and do what is best. So your options are we take out Thiongo, who looks like he has match fitness, and bring in Austin. But look at the way Thiongo has been delivering the corners. Look at the way he's delivering the free kicks. That is someone, if we keep winning those things, I would want to keep in the team just for a little bit longer. Probably it would be good for Anthony Kimani Modo to try and do the substitutions as early as minute 65, towards 70. That way he will have read the game. But already having two players on a yellow card, it puts him in a bit of a tricky situation. So, Victor, this is going to be a very tough call. It's going to be a call of we're going to see the kind of character that Anthony Kimani Modo has, because we didn't have these challenges in the previous matches. So now this is a match that, if you look at it, the ball is not staying on the ground for too long. It is up on the air, and we've seen the likes of Rupia always appealing to the referee. As a player, your job is to make sure that you get the ball and wait for the referee to make the decision. In Kenya, we don't have the benefit of VAR, so it's not going to work for us. We just have to make sure that our head is in the game throughout the next 45 minutes.
Thank you, Gladys. So the second half is about to begin. We meet at full time
Mhm.
and maybe digest the whole match and look forward to the next match. Otherwise, to the rest of the fans, join us at FCTV at full time when we go through the match. Thank you, Gladys.
You're welcome. See you at full time.